morning, everyone. On today's show, we recap the crazy day that was yesterday and how it has now led to us needing to find a brand new subject for DSP Tries It. This time around, it's going to be a little different because I'm not doing any kind of crazy national chains. In addition, today is the return of Donkey Kong Bonanza. And in the last few days, I've gotten some feedback regarding my playthrough and people who are playing the game. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and how to approach this playthrough moving forward. Plus, I'm not doing a podcast tomorrow, so we'll have opportunity today for some extensive Q&A. So if anyone has any topics or things they want to discuss, we can get it addressed. All this and more on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the show. Today is Monday, the 21st of July, 2025. And I am ready for a fun and full day of streaming here with you on DSP Gaming. I hope that you're all ready as well. And the Bonanza has returned. As you can see, the Donkey Kong themed background, the Donkey Kong themed text has returned. And so has Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute. Donkey Kong Bonanza came out last Thursday. Big release for the Switch 2. You played it all day. Why on earth didn't you play it more? Why did you actually stop playing it as much as you were? Because you had said, actually, that you were going to play it again. And you didn't. And now here we are. It's, way into the next week. And now you're finally doing it, right? Well, there's good reason. And the reason is sound. All right. We played it all day long on release day, but last week. And after 6 hours, both myself and the viewing audience were bored. We had beaten the entire first world, gotten to the second, and it was just more of the same. More of the using the sonar to find either bananas or fossils, digging constantly to get them, solving optional puzzles. It was just the same exact gameplay loop without any variation. It wasn't even like they were adding new things to the game. It was just the same thing over and over. So we got bored, and I was like, rather than me keep playing this game that we're already bored of, let's do some variety. Let's do some GTA. Let's do some Death Stranding 2. Let's come back to it next week. Let's see what the general consensus is in the gaming community for this game, and let's figure out how to approach it. So that's exactly what we did, and I'm actually happy that is what we did. I feel like if we had continued to play it the way that we were playing it, that people would have been bored, all right? So here is the feedback. Now that the game has been out for a few days, and of course, people who supercharge and rush through games to beat them, we now know this. Here's the truth about the game. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a 15-hour game. However, if you treat the game like a collectathon, which is basically what the game's going for, it's trying to emulate the classic days of heyday. Back in the day, you had the Banjo-Kazooies, the Donkey Kong 64s, etc. If you play it like that, then the game can be as long as 60 hours long. Wow. Yeah. 60 hours of Donkey Kong Bonanza if you try to get all the bananas, all the fossils, and solve all of the puzzles. That's pretty insane. I don't even think I could survive 60 hours collecting items. Like Banjo-Kazooie, I 100%ed both 1 and 2, but even those weren't 60 hours. Donkey Kong 64, one of the worst games I have ever played in my entire history as a creator and a gamer. I 100%ed, but it wasn't 60 hours. In fact, taking a look back, because I would actually like to look at that now. Let's take a look at Donkey Kong 64. My playthrough of Donkey Kong 64 was 33 videos long, each video being an hour long. A few were a little bit longer. I'm taking a look. Some of them were like, an hour and 10. Some of them were 20 minutes. Wow, that's bizarre. A lot of these were longer than an hour, but some of them were like 20 minutes, so it kind of evens out. I would say probably the playthrough was between 30 to 40 hours long total, okay? So, can you imagine now doing a modern-day collect-a-thon? 60 hours? Even if the game is good, I don't know if I could last 60 hours. You know what I mean? So, here's the thing. I said the game's 15 hours long. Well, what does that mean? So apparently, if you do the bare minimum, if you just go through the game and collect whatever bananas you happen to run into, you beat the story elements, you get just enough to get by, then the game's 15 hours long. And apparently there's some really interesting and creative worlds coming up that people are saying, absolutely, it's worth it. Keep playing the game. It gets better in time. I haven't spoiled myself, luckily. I haven't looked ahead to see what's coming. So I will be genuinely surprised and either impressed or maybe not so impressed by what we're going to run into moving forward. But being that if I try to get everything, it's going to be 60 hours. I think at this point, we kind of have to make that decision. Do I bother getting items or not? And I think what we should do today for this stream, for 3 hours of gameplay, is just try to get through story elements and see what happens. Okay? Now, I know some of you might be disappointed. You might be saying, well, wait a minute. The whole point of the game is collect-a-thon. You said it yourself. So if you're skipping the collection aspect, doesn't that mean that you're missing out on a lot of the elements of the game? Yes. Yes. 100%. But the thing is, no one wants to see a 60-hour collect-a-thon on my streams. I don't know what else to say. That's just the truth of the matter. You guys were bored. I was actually getting bored. I think that the game will shine if we focus on the original and fun things that are in each stage. And if we make good progress and we're seeing bosses and we're seeing upgrades rather than, let's get this other fossil. Let's get this other fossil. Let's get this banana. Let's do an upgrade. Let's do banana. Fossil. Now that doesn't mean that I won't do optional stuff, right, Jasper Kitty? We're going to do some optional stuff, right? Jasper's in the office with me here today. He might jump on the chair at any moment, just so you know. So yeah, oh, there he is. Very nice. We likely will try to at least still get stuff that's in our way. And if we see those optional challenge stages, like the ones that are combat challenges or platforming challenges, I'll probably still do those. But as for every single item in the environment, as addicting as it is, because it's addicting when you're trying to grab these environmental items. Oh, I want to get this one. Oh, there's one I can see right there. Let me just try to get it. Okay, let me get this banana. You can't stop. It's kind of like keep going, right? But if that makes the game 60 hours and you guys are bored, then what's the point? I'm not playing the game for me. I'm playing it for us. That's the difference. This is not my personal offline playthrough. If it was, maybe I would actually go for everything. But I know that I have to be entertaining, and sitting here collecting all these items is not the most entertaining thing from the feedback I'm getting. So today, we'll do a mix. We will try to push for story progress. I'll do a little bit of collecting here and there when I run into it. Okay? And that's how we'll approach this playthrough. Truth is, I don't want to skip the game. I think that there is probably some genuinely good stuff in there. People are saying there is. They're like, it is worth it to go through the game. You're going to like, what you see, but don't get too caught up or hung up in the collecting, because that's where you're going to get bored. All right? So that's how we're approaching it today. Now, I'm just going to say this up front. I don't want to hear any complaints. No, seriously, I don't. I'm tired of it. Every time that I do something, I'm in the wrong. So by playing the game the way I played it on launch day, man, this game is only boring because Phil's playing it that way, right? Now today, I'm going to play it a different way. If I start hearing people whining and saying, oh, well, he's skipping all the content, I don't want to hear it. No, really, I'm tired of the complaints. The complaints department, here's where it is. It's located in this circular file cabinet. It's made of mesh. It's hollow in the middle. You know what I mean? The fucking trash can. That's where you can put your complaints. Because I just want to play the game and enjoy it, and I'm not going to sit here and hear people whining because it's like, oh, well, it's DSP playing, so if he plays it one way, it's wrong, and if he plays it the other way, polar opposite, it's also wrong. No, you're wrong in the fucking head because you don't like anything. So I'm not going to listen to it. Okay? That's the attitude that I'm having with Bonanza today. Let's see how it goes. All right. The other factor here is that we have quite a few games that you guys want to see, right? I didn't play Tony Hawk. I did not play the new RoboCop Rogue City standalone expansion. There's other games coming out in August that you guys want. And I still owe you guys a Suikoden 2 HD playthrough. How on earth am I going to play all these games if I'm doing a 60-hour collectathon? The answer is I'm not. All right. So instead of that, let's play it more casually. Let's just try to get through the story today. Let's see how it goes. All right. All right. That's how we're approaching it. And I hope that you understand. And if you don't, I'm sorry. If you don't like the game, if you don't like the way I'm playing it, you can go elsewhere. A million people have already rushed through this game over the weekend and beaten it in its entirety, so you can go watch their playthroughs. Okay. Cool. So that's settled. Now, what I'd like to do is let you guys know an update on the schedule, because the schedule has changed a little bit based on what's been going on and based on feedback. All right, so I want to give you an update on that so you know what to expect this week. Then we have to work on DSP Tries It because you guys were so supportive yesterday. Okay, if you can believe it, we hit not just one, not just 2 goals, one for each stream, not just 3 goals with a bonus, not just 4 goals. We hit 5 support goals yesterday. That's insane. Thank you, obviously, if you were one of the people who supported this channel yesterday. That was not expected. That was unprecedented. To just come back on a random day and hit that level of support is wild. So not only did we qualify for the DSP Tries It of the barbecue brisket Whopper at Burger King, but then we got 3 more goals in. We are on the trajectory to hit another DSP Tries It this week before the end of the week. So what we need to do is talk about what it's going to be. And I've got 3 really good options that I think all would make a great episode of DSP Tries It. However, none of them are well-known national chains. One of them is a very small local chain. One of them is an independent store, and another one might even be a ghost kitchen. I'm not sure. But what they're offering is kind of unique, and it's perfect for the summertime. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'll tell you about all 3 options. We'll discuss, and we'll see if we come to a consensus of what should the next DSP Tries It be on this show so that you guys know what's going on and what we're working towards, okay? Now, in the meantime, we're at 73 out of 80 goals. We've got incredible momentum. Let's keep that momentum flowing today. Let's hit a goal on this stream for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Remember, during the Donkey Kong Bonanza streams, if you do a $20 contribution, whether that's a $20 tip, a $20 super chat, or 4 gifted subs over on Kick, you will get a specialty animation for the playthrough and a corresponding sound effect. All right, so you get both. So let's see who's going to be the first person to contribute $20 and let us go bananas. Because let me tell you something. Ooh, banana. That's all I have to say, all right? So let's do it. Let's get some support going. Danzak did a $2 super chat, says, what's a ghost kitchen? A ghost kitchen is a place that makes food solely for delivery apps, but doesn't actually physically exist as a location you can go to and eat at. So, for example, you may be on DoorDash and it says, oh, here's a place where you can get gourmet sandwiches. And you order and they'll deliver. Oh, banana. Oh, banana. Thank you very much, Nick, for the super chat. I'll shout that out in a second. I love that sound effect. I love the 2. I love that one. I love donk, 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 gong from the N64 game. I love both of those. So you can't go to the restaurant and sit down and place an order and a waiter comes out, or you can't order at a counter and go sit down and eat. They only deliver. So exactly, Spike Vincent says like Mr. Beast Burgers. Exactly right. Mr. Beast Burgers, you cannot go to a restaurant and sit down. They will only deliver. That's the premise of a ghost kitchen, okay? So thank you to Danzak for $2. And Nick just did a $20 super chat. Oh, banana. And he says, new spectator here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Nick. Good to have you here. I hope that you're ready for some bananas. And hopefully we have some fun with Donkey Kong today. I think we will because, number 1, we stayed away for a while so that it wouldn't get stale. And number 2, since I'm going to play it in a different method, I do think that today will be an exciting stream. So, excellent. Thank you, Nick, for the banana. What's going on? Let's see who's here in chat today. We got Chris. What's going on, Chris? We got Hybrid. We got Itzy. We got Parasolo. Jade is here. Sidious is here. Of course, Danzak is here. King Michael is here. What's going on? Over on the kick side, we got Lave 420, Steak Toast, Jelly Base, Mini Wage. We get the weirdest names on Kick because they're always sock accounts. These people have been banned 17, 18 times and they come back with new accounts and the weirdest names. Pot of Riches, Wacky Slush. You see what I mean? What the fuck is a Wacky Slush? How's everyone doing? Dr. Thundercock. All right. I regret reading the names on Twitch, or excuse me, the names on Kick. I never should have read those names. So, do you have any advice on overcoming a bad internet situation? Looking at pirate software and how he's crashing out, what advice would you give him to be a survivor of the incident? Well, here's the thing. I don't know the situation with pirate software. You guys got me all confused because you were talking about stop killing games, but then I was seeing this picture of this guy, and I thought he was the guy who was running Stop Killing Games, and everyone was saying, this guy is an asshole, no one likes him. This is like the new guy who the entire internet hates. And I was like, oh, so he's just the next DSP poser, I see. Right? You know, everyone makes that association. Well, everyone hates him, so he's like DSP, right? But I don't know the story. Like, I actually don't understand. I guess people are saying he's a former dev at Blizzard, but he's a Nepo baby, and he's an asshole, and everyone doesn't like him. I have not seen anything about this guy. I have not heard him in a video say a word, so I can't really speak to it. People keep trying to get me wrapped up in it, but I don't really understand the situation. If anyone ever wants to try to explain it to me here, I'd be open to try to figuring out what on earth is going on with this situation that everyone's discussing. I know what Stop Killing Games is. Stop Killing Games is a movement where what people are trying to do is make sure that games don't get retired permanently and are unplayable, that they have some posterity, right? That you can preserve them for future generations to understand. For example, one of the major problems right now with gaming is that you have these only online games, but then once the servers are retired years after the games are old and no one's really playing them anymore, now they're unplayable. So all you have is a memory or gameplay footage, but no one can actually play it. Also, I think there was a problem back in the day, like in the 2000s with PC games, where they were putting DRM and shit on the game so that you needed to like go online and log into an account to play the game. But now those online services don't exist anymore, so the games are completely unplayable. So I guess what they're trying to do is find ways to get around that to preserve games. Sounds like a great movement to me. I don't see a single problem with that. That all makes sense to me completely. I don't know why anyone would not even be supporting that movement. I'm actually genuinely confused why someone would be against the preservation and posterity of games. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't get it. That would be like right now, here's why something like that makes sense to me and is actually near and dear to my heart, okay? Literally right now, there's no way that I could play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo as the accurate arcade version that I played back in the day in tournaments. It doesn't exist. The only versions that exist right now are shitty ports where the game runs the wrong speed or the netcode is ass. Like, there's no actual way for me to play Super Turbo because no one actually bothered making a good version of it. So now you can't do it. Now, from what I'm to understand, there are ways you can emulate it so that you can play the real version. I don't have that access. You know, I can't play things like GGPO and stuff because idiots will get my IP address. So I kind of understand, geez, man, a game from back in the day that I think is amazing and I would love to play it, and I just don't have any way to do that. Well, if Stop Killing Games is working on ways to do that, then I'm 100% for it. 100%, I don't see a problem with it. So if that's the case, right, I don't know who the hell this Pirate Games guy is or what, anything about him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. But then again, like I said, I've never heard him. I've never read any of his methodology. I don't know why everyone hates him. Besides, everyone says he's a Nepo baby and he pitch changes his voice to sound like he's a deep voice dude because actually he has a high-pitched squeaky mouse voice and he changed it so that people wouldn't make fun of him on the internet. That's all I know about him. Okay. All right. So let's keep doing shout outs and let's see where that takes us here. So Sarah has done our first sub of the day. Thank you to Sarah over on Kick. You know, say what you will about me. All right? Say what you will about me. But I don't hide anything when it comes to my physical appearance, my voice. Never. I've never been someone who hid and said, oh, I don't want to show you who I am. I know I'm getting older. I know I'm losing some of my hair. I know my hair's getting gray. I'm getting a wrinkly face. My voice has always been this high pitched, and I'm not trying to hide it. You know what I mean? Like right now, I could put a voice changer on my voice to make my voice sound deeper, but why would I care? I am who I am, and I represent myself as who I am, and I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm trying to age gracefully. I'm not, trying to pretend like I'm, oh, I'm going to pitch change my voice. I'm going to change my appearance. I'm not doing that. So I don't even understand that, guys like LTG saying, work on your sexy. The fuck are you talking about? I'm an internet gamer and streamer who talks with people on a podcast every day. Why do I have to work on my sexy? I'm not a fucking supermodel who's going to be walking down the runway in Milan showing off fucking Gucci clothes. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a delusional idiot. Exactly. I don't hide the fact that some of my undershirts are longer than the sleeves of my overshirts. I don't give a shit. Why would I give a shit? I'm okay with myself. And it's sad that there's some people out there that just can't do that they have to constantly be working on how they look or how they sound or, you know what I mean? Just fucking stop. Stop and face reality. It doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters. You're wasting your time and everyone laughs at you. Okay. All right, let's continue. Thank you, Sarah, for the gifted sub. Envy Elroy did a $2 super chat. Can you wear a tie when you play Donkey Kong? Joking, I'm ready for some bananas. And I'm pretty sure they sell a Donkey Kong tie, don't they? They probably do. I'm sure I could get one, but no, I don't think I'm going to get a tie just for the playthrough. Let's see here. Dan Zach did a $5 super chat. And he says, what do you think about the fact that Destiny 2 had to use fan footage in a court case because they sunsetted their content and they can't restore it? Yeah, I'm aware of this. You want to know how I'm aware of this? Because my wife, last year, was it last year? I think it was last year, was trying to get into various different games, and Destiny 2 was one of them. And she actually bought, like, the base game and then got one or two of the expansions. And then when she went to play it in order, because she's like, I'm going to just play all the content in order so I understand the story. She couldn't. They actually removed the story. So there's no way for you to play it and understand what the fuck is going on. You either have to go watch someone else who played it, or you have to go watch like a summary video that someone created because they actually deleted their own content. How fucking stupid can you be as a game developer to delete the content in the timeline so no one can play through it and understand it? I mean, this is the makers of Halo. So imagine they just decided one day, we're just deleting Halo 2. No one can ever play Halo 2 ever again. You can play Halo 1 and 3. That's it. Jesus. How dumb are these fucking people? My God, these people are fucking atrociously stupid. I just can't understand how you could have that thought in your head and think it's full of logic. You're a dunce. Okay. Ridiculous. Anyway, NBA Dude did a £2 super chat and says, whoa, buddy. That's something I haven't heard in a long time, thankfully. My headaches have subsided. I don't have to hear that and the fucking constant ringing of a fucking stupid dinner bell chime. So that it's like the Pied Piper of the mentally deficient. And oh my God, I'm so happy to be out of that vortex, let me tell you. 4 months. 4 months I've been out of that shit. I don't have to hear or see any of that shit. It's amazing. It's so refreshing to be back to the normal fucking world outside of the realm of complete morons. Anyway, thanks for a $2 super chat. All right. Oh, no. You're Not Funny says, imagine if LTG won the multiverse like in Loki, and his statue is everywhere, and it reads, work on yo sexy. Yeah, or what if LTG was like Kang the Conqueror, and there's like 70 billion multiverse versions of him, all slight variations, but they're all equally just as fucking obnoxious and delusional? Oh, man. Dude, someone has to make that movie. That would make bank. That's a 500 million to 1 billion view video on YouTube right there. All right? Very nice. What's up, Jade? You're welcome. It's all good. Sidious says, another funny thing about Pirate, his game is criticized for having bad code. His defense is... What happened? Scrolled up the screen. His defense is... The game is so well optimized, it runs on a fridge. Later proved it was only streamed. Huh? I don't get it. NBA Dude, thanks for another super chat. Just please keep sending them. Especially if you're going to leave messages like that, please just keep sending them. You're really felting me. I'm being so felted when you send me money. So please keep felting me as much as you can. It's hilarious. People don't understand the concept of what felted even means. Are you aware of what the term even means? Okay. Felted means you're at a casino. You play your hand, you lose, you have no money. Hence, all you can see in front of you is the felt of the table because you're broke. Get it? So you're felted, you're cashed out, you're bankrupt. All right? So when you send me a contribution to felt me, you are literally doing the opposite. You are putting more money in front of me. Hence, you are doing the opposite of felting. Get it? Someone took the $1.11 and says, I am a glass bottle afraid of record players. Good for you. I have no idea what the hell you just said. Thanks for the tip, though. No, they have released collections with Super Turbo, but they literally haven't had a collection that's good with Super Turbo. Like, there was one collection years and years ago. The problem was it lagged so bad you couldn't really play the game. The game actually was just complete lag abuse. Like, for example, in Super Turbo, Blanca is arguably the worst character. All right? But when the game lags, he's actually one of the best because he can mash throw in almost every situation. He can repeatedly Blanca ball and you can't do anything about it. Like, he actually becomes almost top tier in lag. And so that version of the game was literally not real Super Turbo because it was so fucking terrible online. Then there was another version they released in a collection, and it ran completely at the wrong speeds and would actually speed up and slow down during the course of the gameplay. So the game was all fucked up. So there hasn't actually been a good ported attempt to make Super Turbo for a modern platform. The only way people actually play Super Turbo is they go on emulators, which are illegal for the record, and then they play them on that GGPO net client, but that net client isn't safe. That net client, you can get exposed. People can get your IP address, and I can't go risk that because I need to be able to stream. So, yeah, I really would like to play Super Turbo, but what are you going to do? Killdozer, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Killdozer, again, I want to apologize to you. I would love to host you someday, but I never think of hosting at the end of my streams. It's not something that I think about. And the Kick viewers over there haven't really said a word about hosting. I don't know why. They haven't said a word about doing it. So I haven't really looked into hosting you if you were live. So my bad, because you've hosted me before, and I feel like I should, pay it forward or at least reciprocate, but I haven't seen it yet. I literally forget to look. No, that actually is the real Killdozer. See, he got his channel verified and everything. Okay. All right. So what I want to do right now, all right, I want to talk about what's the next DSP tries it, because there's 3 actually really good options, I feel. The problem is none of the places I'm about to talk about have websites. Why? Because these places are local businesses. This is not a national chain. This is not some big thing where I can show you an online menu and stuff. They're little, like, hole in the wall places. One of them I suspect is even a ghost kitchen. Okay? I do suspect that. So what I'm looking at is Joe, I don't know what you're talking about, but let me talk about I got distracted. Joe started talking to me. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So we got 3 places that I'd like to consider for upcoming DSP tries it, which might even happen this week. Okay. So here's what we got. All right. 3 places that are all summertime foods, things that I would think, oh, it's a good thing for like a summer meal. All right. American fare. All right. Not international or anything like that, but more American food. All right, so the first place does gourmet hot dogs as well as chicken tender sandwiches and cheesesteaks. The catch is everything they do, they put on these giant pretzel buns, okay? It's these giant long pretzel buns. They do all kinds of different gourmet hot dogs. They do like a more traditional, which is just like, mustard and sauerkraut and onion. But then they do high-end ones with crazy toppings on top as well. They also do chicken in the pretzel bun with like barbecue sauce, but then they also do like a Philly cheesesteak, and they also do some sides. I do believe they have one dessert as well, but I'm not exactly sure. So basically think gourmet hot dogs, but other things too. So if I were to get stuff from that place, I would probably order 1 or 2 hot dogs and then maybe like something else, whether a chicken sandwich or one of the cheesesteaks. Get like 2 or 3 things to all taste test. Okay? What's it called? I think it's called like MLB Dogs or something like that. But again, I can't even show you like a website. It's on some of the delivery apps, so I know I can order from there. But it might not be a physical location. It might be a ghost kitchen. I'm suspecting it may be. Okay? Now, there's another place. This place 100% focuses on melt sandwiches. Well, what is a melt? Well, basically, it's toasted bread with cheese and sauce and then various ingredients in the middle. So, in some cases, it's like roast beef. In some cases, it's like pastrami. In some cases, chicken. Okay? All different kinds of deluxe melt sandwiches. I've never had this place before. It looks interesting. Like, again, if I were to do that, I would probably get maybe like 3 different kinds of sandwich, completely different ingredients, and kind of taste them against each other and see what's good, what's not, or whatever. They also have a dessert sandwich with like strawberries and cream and stuff on it. Not too sold about that. Strawberries and cream on toast? I don't know about that. But it could be all right. I don't know. So that's another place I've never gone to, and I've never really tried anything like that. And it's local, okay? Now, option number 3 actually is a local chain. And what I mean by that is I think they have like 3 locations. It's called Shake and Go. Now, admittedly, I was confused. I thought that Shake and Go was actually Shake Shack, but I was mistaken. Shake and Go is a local chain that has a location that's like maybe 20 minutes away from me, not even. And then there's a few others in my state. So what they do is they do all kinds of sandwiches, including gourmet burgers, chicken sandwiches. They also do wraps, different kinds of wraps. They do sides like fries, onion rings, that kind of stuff. But also they do gourmet shakes. So if I were to order from there, I'd probably get like a burger, one of the other items, whether it be a side or a different kind of sandwich or a wrap, and then a shake. Okay? So there you go. All 3 are completely different. Gourmet hot dogs and or other things, but the focus is gourmet hot dogs. Gourmet melt sandwiches of various different kinds. Or a purely American style place that does burgers, sandwiches, wraps, and shakes. Okay? Those are the 3 options. So what I'd like to do is get your opinions. What we may do is a poll right now in both chats and see which ones you think you would like more. And that will be our DSP Tries It, coming up next. And then based on that, we'll figure out, what we'll order and stuff like that. And then we'll get hyped for it for this week. It looks like if we get some good support this week, it looks like we will be hitting this goal by the end of the week. So we're redoing a second DSP Tries It in the same week, which is pretty crazy. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a poll. Danzak, I don't know off the top of my head if they have Coney dogs. What I would say is let's vote and let's see what people want and then maybe go from there. Let's do a vote. Let's do some polls. No, links are not allowed in the chat, sadly. You're saying you actually did find a website for them? Because I was looking, I didn't see one for Shake and Go, and I didn't see one for the Melt place. But admittedly, I don't think I looked for the hot dog place. Okay, let's do a poll. I'm starting the poll both on Kick and on YouTube. Please vote. Let's see what you guys are interested in. Is that it? Okay, Arg says he found it. Let's see if we can get it up here. Because I did search for it and it didn't pop up. Okay, it's confirmed that... Wait, is this it? I don't know if this is it. Oh, this is it. It's confirmed that the hot dog place is actually a ghost kitchen. I can show it to you. Ready? Here it is. Ballpark Bites. And here's the kind of stuff that they're doing. The ballpark dog, the Philly cheesesteak, the heater, the LA street dog. Look at that. How do you even eat that? The chicken bacon ranch, cheesesteak sandwich. I mean, that's pretty basic. Who cares about that, right? The ball bucket, donut holes tossed in cinnamon sugar, really. So I would probably get like one of the hot dogs. I think they have 3. So I get one of the hot dogs. Maybe I would get one of the chicken sandwiches, maybe the cheesesteak, or maybe instead of 3 sandwiches, get 2 sandwiches and get the donut holes, right? There you go. Could be good, might be terrible. You don't know. See, it's a ghost kitchen. I've never actually eaten, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, I don't think I've ever eaten from a ghost kitchen. So I don't know if that would be good or not. I actually have no clue. So we'll see. You guys are voting right now. Okay. Some shout outs to do. First off, $1.20 tip. You should go and have barbecue for DSP tries it. I've already explained the reason I'm not doing barbecue is because I just don't want to eat a lot of red meat. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. You know, I say, well, I don't get it, Phil. You say you don't want to eat red meat, but yesterday you had Burger King. Right. But what did I have at Burger King? Let's think about it. A terrible drink that I took 2 sips of, a bunch of chicken wraps, and I had about 2/3 of an awful Whopper. So what there was stuff I shouldn't eat, the 2/3 of the awful Whopper. That's it. Everything else is fine. You see? But if I go to a barbecue place, what do you want to see from a barbecue? You want to see the meats, right? You want to see some ribs. You want to see some brisket. You want to see some pulled pork. Now, admittedly, you could also do barbecue chicken, but you don't go to the barbecue place just to try the barbecue chicken. Especially if I'm doing a DSP tries it, you're going to want me to do a variety of meats from this place. Well, I shouldn't be eating that. Do you understand? I really shouldn't. If I eat barbecue and I eat a bunch of red meat, I have a very big chance that I could have a health issue, and I don't want to do that. There's a difference between, oh, okay, once a week I eat fast food and I have like a burger versus, oh, I'm having a giant platter of red meats and taste testing them all against each other, and now I'm putting myself at risk. So I'm doing it for my own health. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Danzak did a $2 super chat. Do they have Coney dogs? No, you saw what they have. They have like two or three variations. They have like a classic hot dog, and then they have a crazy one where they put bacon, jalapenos, serrano peppers, onions, mayo, mustard, and avocado. What the frick, man? That's nuts. That's a hell of a combination to put on a hot dog. It's just wild. So there you go. They don't have a Coney dog. No, they don't. Okay. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Danzak. And then Hello Voltage did a $2 super chat. No gourmet food till you safely deliver those pigs. Well, we did. Luckily, last night with Truck Sim, we actually did deliver a big group of pigs. You know what I was surprised at? I forgot to mention this. They didn't make any noise. You would think, oh, if you're delivering pigs, it would make like a pig noise. It didn't make any noise when you were driving them. That would have been cool if they did, right? I did order Famous Dave's barbecue. I absolutely did years ago. You're right. And I regret it because it was absolutely terrible and it was bad for my health and it was not worth it whatsoever. Okay. So the polls are about to end. Let me give you the final results here, everybody. Let me refresh. Final results are the gourmet hot dogs. That seems to be what you guys want. All right. So what is it called again? MLB Ballpark Bites. It's a ghost kitchen collaboration between MLB and this ghost kitchen thing. And again, I've never ordered from a ghost kitchen, so I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. But they do deliver to me. I checked, and they do deliver to me. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be any good. It might not be, actually. We'll have to see. It might not be good at all. I don't know. Well, we'll find out, I guess, because you voted for it. So I guess we're doing it next, something different. And the thing is, the good news is, we can do a bunch of these and we can go back and forth. So let's say we do that as the next DSP tries it. Now, in the meantime, if something else happens and there's a limited time thing or something that happens somewhere else, let me know. Maybe we'll do that. But then we could go back to one of these other ones that I have the idea for. We could kind of bounce back and forth between local and other stuff. Okay? Yeah, I bet if they're a ghost kitchen, how much do you want to bet they probably are a ghost kitchen that does like 10 different businesses? They probably do. Okay, so thanks for helping me decide. All right. Now, we're not doing a podcast tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow is going to be my skip day. I skip the podcast about twice a week now. It seems to be working well. Doing a podcast every day, we don't necessarily have something to talk about, but it seems like when I save the podcast for days when we have, set topics of discussion, it usually works well. So tomorrow we'll skip. We'll come back on Wednesday. But in the meantime, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's get some back and forth Q&A and discussion going now so we can have a nice chill time here. And that way, there'll be no burning questions left unanswered and things, before we take the day away. So what's ever on everyone's mind? Would I consider trying the Mr. Beast Ghost Kitchen? Absolutely not. I'm not going to give that guy $1 of my money. He doesn't deserve it. And the food apparently is atrociously bad to the point where he has actually disowned his own ghost kitchen, saying if he could get out of it, he would. It's his worst business decision ever because there's no standards whatsoever at his ghost kitchens. So some are good and some are atrociously bad. And people are complaining, and he has no control over it to make it better. So basically, it's hurt his reputation. Yes, I tried his chocolates when they were on extreme discount clearance. That's correct. I did do that. They were trying to get rid of them. It was like bargain prices. They were slashing prices to get rid of the inventory because no one eats that shit. I don't hate Mr. Beast. I just don't like the fact that basically internet culture has changed towards creation that's just garbage creation for no value, doesn't really do anything for benefit of society, just real garbage stuff. And it's corrupting a whole generation of youth who think that that's like good stuff and good behavior, and it's not. I don't personally have anything against Mr. Beast. I don't care about the fucking guy. He doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Thoughts on the CEO that got fired after getting caught cheating at a Coldplay concert? Well, it just goes to show you that people who are in positions of power at these major corporations are usually not very smart because they're usually silver spoon in the mouth born, had everything handed to them their whole life. They're just morons. They think that they have infinite power and can get away with anything. This guy is a complete fucking idiot. He's married, has a family, he's rich, powerful. What does he do? That's not enough for him. That's not enough. I need everything. So I also need to be able to sleep with whoever I want, whenever I want. So let me sleep with the head of HR. And then, I'm immune to anything. So I'm just going to publicly be with this woman out in public, No, you fucking idiot. I mean, it just shows to show these people are just complete fucking idiots and don't deserve to have the power they have. They're not in the best interest of anyone doing the right things. There is a upper echelon class of people in the United States and worldwide, but it's very prevalent in the United States. They're the 1%ers. They've never done a damn thing to earn anything. They literally have everything handed to them. And then they just stay there for the rest of their lives. It's called failing upward. They make mistakes. They do fucked up stuff. They get promoted. They get rewarded. This is just the case where the only reason that this guy has any kind of repercussions is because it happened at a Coldplay concert and the Coldplay guys called him out. That's it. That's literally the only reason. If that didn't happen, he would have got away with this scot-free and continued to do heinous actions for the rest of his life and failed upward. That's how it works for that upper 1%er class. As the rest of us, we make mistakes. We get penalized. There's consequences. We suffer. Not them. But this guy just happened to be the one guy who got caught out because of bad luck. I don't know about a Nintendo lawsuit about breaking Switch 2. I know that Nintendo is saying that if they catch you doing things on Switch 2 they don't want you doing, like modding it or stuff like that, they'll brick it. But apparently that's already been a clause for a long time. But I guess now people found out about it. And maybe, I don't know. I didn't know there was a court case regarding it. I realized there was more than one person cheating. Why am I solely blaming the dude? I'm not. I'm speaking from my own perspective. The woman probably is exactly the same situation as him. I don't know. I only heard that, from his perspective, he's the CEO. Someone asked me about, did you hear about the CEO? They didn't say, did you hear about the couple? They said, did you hear about the CEO? So I was answering from the perspective of the question. Do you understand? MVL Roy says, did you hear about a Donkey Kong movie Nintendo was suing for copyright? I don't know. I heard a really weird thing. Okay? I heard a really weird thing that I guess people thought that Nintendo was making a Donkey Kong movie because there was some kind of a filing saying that a Donkey Kong movie was in production. But then Nintendo says, no, that's not us. And then they sued immediately to say stop. I don't know. That's so confusing to me. What made someone think they could make a Donkey Kong movie if they don't own the IP? I don't get it. I don't know the whole situation. Excuse me. Mr. Mark just did a 10 euro super chat. Greetings from Germany. May I ask what the button is? What the button is? Are you talking about this, the YouTube play button? This is the YouTube play button for this channel, DSP Gaming. I got this over a decade ago. In fact, probably it was like 2010, 2011-ish, 2012-ish maybe, when I hit 100,000 subs on YouTube. It's the original YouTube play button. They stopped making it over a decade ago, so I have one of the first ones. You can't actually get this anymore. It's actually pretty much a collector's item because you can't get them. Now they make a new one that looks completely different. Honestly, I think this one looks better. That's what that is. And then you said, do you push on your chair from time to time? I have no idea what that means. Do I push on my chair from time to time? Ugh. Yes, I guess I do. I don't know what that meant. If you want to rephrase, please, by all means, do. I have no clue what you meant. Oh, are you talking about this? The chair strap? No, that's my pillow, see? There's a pillow for back support, but it tends to move around, so I have to adjust it from time to time. It's a little loose. It didn't used to be as loose, but, you know, the chair's like 3-4 years old now, so it's kind of worn out. Let's see what the current euro conversion is. Let's find out. So you did a 10 euro. That is $11.69. So thank you to Mr. Mark for $11.69 super chat. Now we're at 57 bucks of support. Thank you so much. Let's see here. I got a $1.11 tip from Interesting Box. What is the sound that you would make if a metal rod shot up your ass? We know who you are. You're not Interesting Box. You're that freak who talks about shit and piss and things going up my ass. We know who you are. You're a disgusting deviant. Thanks for the $1 tip. Okay. My opinion on Donkey Kong will be amended today as I play more. I haven't played it since launch day. I have nothing further to say about it. Genesis Gaming, 41 months as a member. Thank you so much for that. It says Nintendo is apparently getting legal problems left and right for bricking of consoles, and the same with game key cards. Oh, again, I don't know anything about that. Most disappointing game I played this year? Oh, to answer that, I would actually have to look at everything I played this year. Here. Let me take a look at everything I've played this year. Okay, let me go back to the beginning. So let's see. We did Dino Crisis. We did Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Mouthwashing. Played with Mai Shiranui. We did some chess. Onimusha Warlords. Monster Hunter Wilds Beta. Elden Ring Night Rain. Network Test. And then the final game. Avowed. Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Tape 1. I never played Tape 2. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves Beta. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. A game about digging a hole. Suikoden 1 HD Remake. We played a whole bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's games. Kiosk. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Disco Elysium. Atomfall. Inzoi. Let's see here. South of Midnight. Blueprints. Minecraft. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Dave the Diver. Let's see here. American Truck Sim. Doom of the Dark Ages. CVS 2 and the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Actual Elden Ring Night Rain. Mario Kart World. Lies of P Overture DLC. Mind's Eye. Cast and Chill. Onimusha 2. Taxi Life. Death Stranding 2. GTA 4 with mods. And Donkey Kong Bonanza. So what's the most disappointing game of the year so far? That's a tough one. So what didn't I like and found disappointing? Avowed. Lost Records. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Inzoi, I would say for sure. And honestly, probably like, Mario Kart World and Mind's Eye. All right. Out of all of those, I would say Assassin's Creed Shadows because that is a franchise that used to be absolutely amazing. That is a franchise that used to be triple A, top of the line. When an AC game was coming out, you knew you were going to be playing gaming greatness and you were going to have a great 20 to 30 hour adventure. Now it comes out and it's just the same fucking garbage. Rehashed, fucking same grindy open world bullshit, base takeovers, assassinate the guy, loot the shit, boring fucking combat. Story is fucking so cliche, zero originality. The graphics aren't even that good. Cutscenes are fucking choppy. The character models stand like mannequins when they talk like this, like they have metal rods shot up their ass, like the tipper would say, and they can't move because the metal rod is shoved up their ass. So now all that happens is their mouth moves like this, but nothing else moves. AAA game, high budget. This is how you make your cutscenes, right? So yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's dog shit. It's fucking terrible. There you go. Now someone asked how many games have I played on my channel? Let's see. No, I can't see there either. I have no idea. I don't know how to see how many playlists I have, because that would be the answer. It would be off by maybe like 100, but you know, playlist generally every new game I play, I create a new playlist for. So, but I don't know how to see how many playlists I have on the channel. I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out. Nothing counts that. Oh, this year has had a lot of games that were surprisingly good. Games I never heard of, like Blueprints, I never even had heard of, and people said you got to play it. It's great. I started playing. I'm like, oh my god, like it's so original, you know. Iron Man the Powers here says he can't wait to play Ghost of Yotei. It's gonna be his #1 favorite video game, and it's gonna be his game of the year. He enjoys Ghost of Tsushima so much. Well, good for you. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that it's just as good as Ghost of Tsushima, but of course they're probably gonna have much better graphics. I've already been saying that physical games are on the way out. I said this 100% that physical games are just collector's items now. They serve no purpose because when you get a physical game and you put it in your console, uh, you don't have the game. It still downloads the game anyway. It's just a placeholder to claim you own something you really don't. All you own is a license to play that digital game. That's all it is. So yes, I do believe eventually they will be phased out. I truly do. What'll happen is physical games will only be available as part of the collector's edition. So if you spend the extra money to basically pay for the production cost, then they'll give you a box and all of that. But for the most part, I think physical games will go away. Oh man. Do I miss East Coast food like Jake's Wayback and Burgers and Dutch's? Jake's Wayback Burgers, not really. I only had them a few times. I think I did a DSP tries it on them once or twice. I barely ate that. But places like Dutch's, Tomlinson's, Merritt Canteen, all the Italian food that I used to eat when I was on the East Coast, seafood as well. I do miss all of that stuff. Absolutely, I do. But not particularly Jake's Wayback Burgers, no. Parasolo, 50 months as a member. Thank you so much. He says, can't wait for MGS3 Redemption run next month. Yes, the Metal Gear Solid Delta Triple Snake Sucker Revival game, or whatever it's called, comes out next month, and I will be playing it. Yes, I know that one's going to get some attention on it, for sure. We got some dancing bananas over on Kick. I was able to make a dancing banana emote for Kick. I can't make emotes for YouTube because they never allow me to add new emotes anymore. But on Kick, we got dancing bananas. I mean, YouTube still doesn't have motion emotes. That's pretty sad, don't you think? They still don't have motion emotes. No, I'm not going to watch any trailers today. Today, I just want to hang and chill with you guys and talk about whatever topics you want to talk about. So that way we get everything out of the way because I'm not doing a podcast tomorrow, okay? Yeah, I wish I could see how many playlists I have. I don't see a way to say how many there are. I see number of videos, but I don't see playlist counting. So, okay. All right, what else would you guys like to talk about? Tag me in the chat. Or, of course, if any contributions come in, I'll shout them out. Remember, for a $20 contribution, whether it's a tip, a super chat, or 4 gifted subs on Kick, you get a special animation and sound effect that plays on the stream. How many hours of gameplay do I have on my channel? That's impossible to know. Really, I think, unless there's some kind of AI app that would figure that out. The problem is my channel, DSPGaming, has been around since 2010. When I started, you couldn't even make videos longer than 15 minutes. YouTube had a time limit on videos. So back then, I was pumping out hundreds of videos in a week. Now, all my videos are an hour long. At one point, my videos were like 20, 30 minutes long. So even if you were to say, okay, he has this many videos times this long, you can't even do that. I have no idea how to figure that out. Conky Dong did a $2 super chat and said, banana. Well, thank you, Conky Dong. We're now up to $60 of support. So more than a third of the way to our goal. Can we get to halfway to our goal before the podcast ends? That way we only have to do the second half of the gameplay portion. That would work. Why do I have an incident emo on Kick? Because I'm not afraid of who I am and the mistakes I've made. I've owned up and fessed up to them. I'm not embarrassed. I mean, it's the most embarrassing moment I'll ever have, but I'll never have another one worse than that. So I got past it 9 years ago. There's no reason to worry about it. Laugh at it. Go ahead. I don't care. No, I don't watch any professional fights. I'm not interested. All-time favorite wrestler? Don't really have one. If you were to ask me, like, over time, who are my favorites, who were the greats, I'd probably say, like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, Chris Jericho, CM Punk at one point. You know, I'd have to look at all the history of wrestling again, but, you know, I'm just pulling stuff out of the work that I've enjoyed over the years. Jasper Boy, getting some pets. Nah, I was not an Ultimate Warrior fan. No, I was not. I was a Hogan fan at that time. Thoughts on the Cybertruck? I know nothing about the Cybertruck's performance. I think it's one of the most hideous vehicles I've ever seen in my life. I would never buy that thing. It looks like a piece of shit. It looks like something a kid made up in the 1980s saying, here's the car of the future. Like a mentally deficient child made it. And yet they sell it and idiots buy it. I just don't understand how dumb people are. No, Kat didn't play Clear Obscure because she prefers more passive RPG gameplay. She likes turn-based, but not having to do active button inputs. She would have hated having to active dodge and parry. She would just want to do the planning and everything, but not having to button tap and time it. Yak Almighty says, what car would you want if you got a new one right now? I actually have no idea. I would have to go look at the market and see what's out there. I have no clue. I haven't followed cars in a while. My last car I got in 2017. So, you know, I'm hoping that car will last a while. I don't want to have to buy a car because we don't drive. So the car barely has any miles on it. But if I do have to get a new one at some point, I'd have to see what's out there. I don't even know what's available anymore. Plus, they're trying to do bullshit in my state where they're trying to outlaw gas cars and say that you have to have an electric car, which is insane because we don't have enough charging stations and our electric grid would never support it. Yet they've passed laws saying that apparently this has to go into effect in the next few years. I think our lawmakers out here are fucking insane. So that's why I want to keep my gas car for now and see what happens. I get the feeling what's going to happen is it's going to go into effect and everything's going to fall apart and they're going to have to roll it back right away. And they're all going to look like embarrassed jackasses. But, you know, only the future will tell. Last concert I attended, when I was going to gaming conventions back in the day, like over a decade ago, I went to a lot of different like concerts they would hold at the conventions, which were quite fun. You know, gaming cover bands. Nobuo Uematsu, the composer of Final Fantasy, his, what were they called? Earthbound Papas. His group was there and played. They were really good. So those are the last concerts I heard in person. I received a $2.57 tip. Has having a gaming PC and exploring more indies impacted this gaming year for you? What would the gaming year have looked like in terms of quality if you didn't have a gaming PC? Well, let's take a look again at the playlist from this year. Let's go back to early this year. Like, what games wouldn't I have played? Okay. I wouldn't have played Mouthwashing. I wouldn't have played chess. I don't know if I would have played Onimusha Warlords because I played that on PC. I don't know if that was available on console. Let's see here. I wouldn't have played a game about digging a hole. I wouldn't have played all the Five Nights at Freddy's games, probably. I wouldn't have played Kiosk. You know, I might have still played Disco Elysium on console. I wouldn't have played Inzoi. That was PC only. I'm trying to see again what's PC exclusive. I wouldn't have played Dave the Diver, probably. I definitely wouldn't have played American Truck Sim. I wouldn't have played the taxi driving game. I would have done none of the driving stuff that we're now really enjoying together. None of that would have existed. I would have been limited with my fighting game stuff. Like, I probably wouldn't have been able to play the, you know, CVS2 and stuff at the capacity I'm playing because I would have been limited to just console. Okay, that's the answer. Oh, and definitely I wouldn't have played Dark Souls with mods or GTA 4 with mods. So honestly, I'd say a pretty big impact. I'm not saying that any of those games that I just mentioned, because we played them on PC, are like game of the year or something that really completely changed everything. But at the same time, what that's done is created content for in between the cracks. And what I mean by that is something that used to be tough for me was if there wasn't a lot of big AAA releases out, I wouldn't know what to do. And we'd actually have times where we have to do like filler and we like scratching our heads. What are we going to play? What are we going to do? It would be a concern. Literally, we just don't have that problem anymore. There is such a wide availability and wide amount of games on PC of good variety, indie games, other kinds of games like driving with the wheel. There's no downtime anymore. This is one of the best summers I've ever had. Take a look. We're only halfway into the summer. I have so much to do. I can't do it all. Summer used to be the dead time where we didn't know what to do. Now it's the opposite. Like I have too much to do. You see? So I do feel, I'm not saying that because I'm a PC gamer now that things have completely changed and now, oh, look, I'm playing completely different franchises. Some of the games that are PC exclusive, I'm not going to care about. Anything that's like RTS, that kind of stuff. At the same time, though, absolutely, this has made my content better by leaps and bounds. Really, by leaps and freaking bounds, my content has massively improved because of the PC gaming aspect of it. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for your support, for your dedication, for the fact that you come back and hang out with me every day. And we went through all those tough times. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. That was like 10 freaking years. Like ever since I moved out here and I put myself into a horrible financial hole with my decisions, I was stuck. I was stuck in a rut where I had to only play on console, where I couldn't have good quality visuals, good quality audio. Everything was kind of inferior compared to everyone else. Now I am right there with everyone else, able to play everything, great quality everything, and it is changing the content for the better. So I thank you all so much for that. Really, you guys are amazing. Scorpion or Sub-Zero? I was mostly a Sub-Zero guy. I did play Scorpion, but I played Sub-Zero more than Scorpion. In the United States, the Switch 2 is becoming more and more available, meaning like, for example, let's say one of our stores like Walmart or Best Buy or Target are restocking. You can pretty much just place an order and get it, no problem. But then they'll run out of stock for like a week and then they'll get it back and you can get it again. And it's regular price. There's no markups here. It's still like $450. And do they have warranty or service? There is warranty. Any Switch you get a Nintendo of America warranty. I don't know how long it is, probably like a year, 2 years. So you do get the official warranty. Someone asked, what the cost of the Switch is, what's the availability now, have things changed? Yeah, it's easier to get now for sure. Like every other day I see a posting, oh, it's available here, you can order it right now, no problem. So I get the feeling very soon every store will have them stocked too. When am I going to play a racing game with the wheel? Well, here's the thing. We're already playing a racing game, Mario Kart. I don't want to be playing nonstop racing games. The whole idea of the wheel was to play a variety of games that normally I wouldn't play. Okay. If I'm already playing a racing game, I don't want to play another racing game on the wheel. I like the idea of the chill deliveries of American Truck Sim. I also said I would consider doing like Forza games like that. I'm down for that. And I've heard they look amazing too on PC, but people don't seem to be that interested or really demanding them. So that's why I haven't done them yet. Jay says, I would like to see Jasper again. I don't know where he went. He was in here and I was petting him and he was walking around. Like I said, Jasper's the kind of cat. He goes where he wants and he doesn't like to stay in one spot. I don't think he's in the window right now. I don't think so. Cause usually if he's in the window, I would hear him. I don't see him. I think he left for a bit. Will we ever get a dog? If we get a dog, we can't get one when we have Jasper Kitty. As we've said, there's different personality types for cats. Jasper is green personality type, which means he's very, very personable. He'll come right up to you. He'll rub you. He wants pets. He wants licks. He wants interaction. He wants to play. The problem is he wants to be the only pet. He does not want any other pet to take his spot in this house. When other animals come around, like even if there's an animal outside, he freaks out. Okay? He gets angry and upset. He starts hissing. We used to have a cat that would come by outside. He would go nuts, go crazy, wanting to attack the cat. Okay? So the problem is if we were to introduce another pet to the household, like let's say we got another cat or another dog, he would be the kind of cat that would be incredibly upset. You've now disturbed his living situation. He's lived in this house now, for over 5-6 years as the only pet. And to add another pet, he would freak out and he'd probably immediately start acting up, doing bad things, being destructive, peeing and pooping all over the house, And the thing is, he doesn't really need that. That's not his fault that that's his personality, you know? That's just how he is. I feel like if we were to bring another pet into the house now, that would be very selfish for us because we know how he is and we know that, he's happy. Why now disturb his happiness just for us to have another pet for our own personal selfish reasons, right? We're happy with Jasper Kitty. So, you know, in the future, when things, change, because pets pass away, and obviously we're not rushing that at all. We really enjoy Jasper as our cat. We want him to live a very long and happy life with us. But one day we might look to do a dog or another cat or another kind of pet situation, but we're definitely not doing it right now. Gabriel, how are you? $2 super chat. He says, "What's up, Phil? A great day of streaming ahead." I agree. We're gonna have more DK Bonanza. Hopefully it goes well because I'm changing my methodology of how to play the game. I'm not just doing all collectathon stuff. We're gonna try to make advancement. And tonight, some Minecraft chill fun should be great. I think that we might go back to the cave since people really like when I put myself in dangerous situations. Maybe we'll just do that tonight. Okay. Do I miss East Coast weather? No. That's one of the things about the East Coast I never liked. The weather there is always awful. I'm glad that I don't live there anymore. Let me put it this way. Literally every week I call my parents and they're complaining about how bad the weather is. They're like, "Oh my God, it's insanely hot. The hurricane came through, fucking torrential downpours, crazy heat." And then in the winter, "Oh my God, it's fucking cold as hell. There's ice outside. It's terrible." Like, well, I'm glad I don't have any of that. Glad I just sit here with moderate weather. I don't have to put up with any of that crap. Jade, I know you won't be here tonight, but you're sticking around for Donkey Kong, right, Jade? I already tried the Wendy's Takis combo weeks ago. You could find that episode of DSP Tries It on my DSP Reacts channel. That's at DSP Reacts. That's where you could find it. It was a good episode. Favorite SNES game? Depends on the genre. Favorite platformer is Super Mario World. My favorite Zelda game is Zelda Link to the Past. Street Fighter 2 is on there. Hyper Fighting was the best one for Super Nintendo. Geez. Final Fantasy 3, insanely good RPG. Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, all insanely good games. Exactly. Cydia says the longest cat I've ever had lived 18 years. That's awesome. See, this is sadly there's pros and cons to having a rescue animal. When you have a rescue animal, unless you have a full history, you don't really know how old the animal is. Like I don't know. By the way, Jasper was in the window. Hi, Jasper. Hello. He's coming out of the window right now. He poked his head out. We don't know how old Jasper is. I wish we did know, but when we rescued him, we were told, "Oh, he could be 2, he could be 3, he could be 4. We're not sure." So he could be much younger than we think. He could end up being much older than we think. So we actually don't know. We look for signs, and the only thing I will say is every once in a while when he tries to make a jump now, like he wants to jump on the dresser, he wants to jump here there, he slips a little bit. But it's not often. It's like every once in a while. And the thing is, he didn't used to ever slip. He used to be like super duper sure of his footing and, but he's still incredibly agile. He still runs around the house constantly. He's full of energy. He does all the things he did when he was younger. So we don't think he's getting old. Maybe just slightly older. Jasper Kitty. Jade said he wanted to see you. You want to come over here? Jade said that he wanted to see you on stream. You want to jump up again? Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Everyone wants to see you. Come up here so I can pet you. Come up here. Come up here so I can pet you. He's just staring at me. He won't come up here now. He wants to stare. You don't want to come up here and get some pets? No, I guess not. I tried. He looked at me and he turned around and he laid down. He doesn't want any pets. I'm sorry. I tried, Jade. Jake Kuma says I should try soloing the Ender Dragon. He's not that difficult. Dude, I don't have any obsidian. We're so far away from doing that. Like, can you go to the Nether? Sure, if you play fucking Minecraft all the time and you know what you're doing and you know how to get the resources. I don't know how to do that shit. I'm so ill-equipped. We play once a week, and I just kind of flub my way through the stream. I don't. You should really destroy your aspirations of me doing anything crazy. I don't think I'm killing Ender Dragons. I don't think I'm doing anything super epic. It's gonna be just me chilling in Minecraft every week. That's kind of the point, you know. Here's what's funny is the people on Kick literally think I don't read their messages. It couldn't be further from the truth. I read all the messages on Kick. The problem is that Kick's chat is mostly, not all, but mostly LARPing idiots. People who actually don't like me, or holdovers who liked me when I was hanging out with Kino Casino, and now that's all over with for 4 months for the record. But they're still hanging out in that chat. So they just sit there saying the most dumb shit, and I ignore them until finally something happens that's intelligent or nice, and then I'll respond. I did like Dave the Diver. I'm sad that the audience didn't. I actually really enjoyed Dave the Diver, and I wanted to play more, but people weren't into it. They were complaining about it, and the support was bad. So I said, well, oh well. You move on. You do other stuff if people don't want it. Jade said, ooh, banana. Will we see that again? Will someone do a $20 contribution? Like I said, I would like to get halfway to the goal before the podcast ends, and the podcast is almost over. If someone did a $20 contribution, we get into animation again with the sound effect. Let's see if someone does it. It's either a $20 super chat, $20 tip, or 4 subs on Kick. Or I suppose you could do 7 memberships here on YouTube as well. Gabriel the Blessed says, why do you think I'm present on both platforms, but I spend 95% of my time here? Because the YouTube audience who talks is just much more intelligent. They're not there to meme and be toxic and stupid. A lot of the Kick viewers are there just to meme and be toxic and stupid, and I don't enjoy engaging with that. There are people on Kick who are legit, who are nice people, but there's way more of that on YouTube than there is on Kick. Jade is a viewer who's been around for many, many years. He's been supportive over the years, but also just generally just not a nice person, which is why I talk to Jade back and forth conversations. YouTube people just blindly praise me. That couldn't be further from the truth, but the YouTube viewers don't act like, like retarded idiots. They actually just act like normal people. So in general, hanging out with the YouTube audience is a lot more chill. If I try to interact with the Kick audience, I got to put up with these stupid fucking bullshit memes and detractor shit. Like, oh God. Like talking to a 4-year-old. Tubbs thinks I would have enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3 more on keyboard and mouse. You may be right, but in general, I don't think the control was my criticism of the game, so I'm probably not. I don't know. Review Felted North Korea just gifted a sub on Kick. Thank you to Review Felted North Korea. That gets us up to 69. And as you guys know, I'm an incredible prude. So I cannot have it sit at 69. We need to have someone contribute right now so that we can get off of the number 69, or else I'll be incredibly offended. Have I thought about trying different banana varieties as a reward to be in line with Donkey Kong? Banana varieties? There aren't many. There's like regular, there's plantains, and there may be like one more. There's not that many banana varieties out there, I hate to tell you. At least available at like a regular store here in the United States. Gabriel the Blessed has gifted a membership. Thank you to Gabriel. Now we actually have one of each contribution. Do I like Sonic or Mario more? I mean, I've played a hell of a lot more of Mario. When I play Sonic, I do enjoy it. Depends on the game. Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, Sonic Frontiers, all great games, right? But then you look at some others, and I would say Sonic has a lot more hit and miss situations. For every Sonic Mania, there's like a real shitty dud of a Sonic game, like Sonic Boom. While with Mario, he almost hits greatness every single game that's ever come out. There's a few Mario games that maybe are a little bit subpar, but for the most part, almost all the Mario games are great. And the best platformer ever for me was always Super Mario World. So I'd have to say Mario over Sonic, although I do love Sonic. I really have enjoyed his games over the years. Do I know why my Spider-Man games go popular? What on earth does that mean, Spawn Killer? What are you talking about? What does that mean? Jade, I know you enjoy Donkey Kong. I'm looking forward to more today. Hopefully it's great. I do not read comics, no. I haven't read comics in a very long time. When I upload Spider-Man games, they always get popular. No, not today. Back in the day, they did, and here's why. Back in the day, I was known as the guy who would go out and get a game on release day, play it within 2 days, have the entire playthrough on the internet. And, back in the day, Marvel games in particular were getting pretty popular. There's a lot of movie tie-in games and stuff like that. So Spider-Man in particular had a lot of very popular video games. So I would play them immediately on release and I would get those day one views. And back then the algorithm worked very differently. So for example, back then, my Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions playthrough, if you were searching for Spider-Man content on YouTube, it would actually show up. Even if you weren't searching for Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, you might just type in Spider-Man. And because my playthrough is one of the top viewed playthroughs of all time, okay, it would just show up. Even you just type in Spider-Man, it would say, oh, it would be one of the top videos. But then YouTube changed the algorithm at one point, and basically then it only shows up if you specifically search for Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. In fact, let's test the theory right now. I'm on YouTube, and I'm going to type in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Okay? First video that comes up 3 years ago, 2.2 million views. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions gameplay walkthrough, full game with no commentary. The full game with no commentary, 6.5 hours. Huh? The second video, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions 14 years later, 306,000 views. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions all cutscenes, full game movie, 1.7 million views from 2.5 hour video. In reality, these aren't even allowed because they're not transformative. But the thing is, the game makers aren't suing anyone. So literally, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, that's what comes up. I'm scrolling down. My videos do not show up at all. Literally, my video of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is not in the YouTube search. I'm looking right now. I'm scrolling down. It's not there. It just doesn't exist. Yeah, it's not there. So now, if I get more specific, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, DSP. Now, my Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions playthrough finally pops up. And it says Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions playthrough part 1, 3.2 million views. So my playthrough actually has more views than the ones that are recent. But it doesn't show up in YouTube search. They removed it. I'm telling you, what they did is at one point, they changed the algorithm on YouTube. And the algorithm kicked all of my old videos out of YouTube's algorithm. It just doesn't exist anymore. Like they don't get any views. That video used to be the number one. When you search Spider-Man on YouTube, that would be right there. So everyone would go watch the playthrough and be like, oh my God, this is funny. And then I get a lot of views based off of it. Every year, I'm not kidding, I would get hundreds of thousands to millions of views based on that video because people would see it and then look at related content. But now, when they changed that algorithm years ago, it completely screwed over my channel and all of the legacy content. The old videos do not show up in search unless you search for DSP. Like here's another one. Resident Evil 5. What was the DLC? Lost in Nightmares. Okay. Resident Evil 5 DLC, Lost in Nightmares. What shows up? Well, someone doing a playthrough 9 years ago, live streamed. Someone doing a playthrough 9 years ago. Okay. All 9 years, 1 year. Not me, not mine. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. Someone with 1,000 views shows up in the search. Okay. 48,000 views. It's all stuff from a million years ago. Okay. But not mine. No, mine doesn't show up at all. Now, if I type in Lost in Nightmares DSP, it still doesn't show up. Holy shit. It still doesn't show up. Wow. How do I get my Lost in Nightmares to show up? Because even typing in DSP, it's not showing up. That's crazy. Okay, I had to type in DSPGaming. All right. I had to type in Resident Evil 5, DLC, Lost in Nightmares, DSPGaming. Not even DSP, DSPGaming. And then finally, the video showed up from 15 years ago, 1.5 million views. In reality, my playthrough of Lost in Nightmares, that DLC, that's the most viewed playthrough of the game and that DLC. The first part has 1.5 million views. No other videos even have 1 million views. But guess what? My playthrough doesn't show up in YouTube search. It's gone. It's been erased. It's there. You could still find it, but you have to search hard. Like I said, what happened was YouTube took legacy content and they changed the algorithm at one point, and it kicked all my legacy content out of the algorithm so no one can find it. So all the way, I used to get all these residual views. I get no views on my old content anymore. Zero, like 0 views. I'm not kidding. I used to get 30 to 50,000 views a month on that Spider-Man video. I receive 0 views on that Spider-Man video now because it doesn't show up. So there's nothing I can do about it. YouTube changed the system and fucked over my channels because they just decided to do so. They thought, oh, this is better for our business overall. So all the modern channels get the views now and the old channels don't get views anymore. Apparently there is a way to do something, because I know for a fact the Angry Video Game Nerd, at one point, he went in and he edited all his videos. I think what he did is he went in, you know how there's the YouTube video editor? He had his company Screenwave go into his channel and edit his videos in a way that then they look like new videos again, even though they're not. It'll say like, oh, it's from 15 years ago, but the video has tons of views, but yet it still shows up in the algorithm. I think there's something you can do with that, but I don't know what it is. And by the way, no one's going to tell you how to do it because no one wants to give out their secret. They want their shit to get ranked and to get views and not yours. So here I am, worked my ass off for 18 years, pumping out videos. They used to get millions of views. Now the old videos don't even show up in the search anymore. And now all my old content is immediately stolen by detractors and uploaded before I can even get my shit uploaded. So I don't even get views on my own original content because they steal it immediately. So I'm just happy to be someone who's so well supported by you guys on streams, because if it weren't for you, I'd be out of business. But between the theft and the changes on YouTube, there's no way that I can make a living doing this if it weren't for you guys. I hope you understand that. Beaver Bother is back, tipped $1.50. He says, I finished DK yesterday. The end game is worth the investment. Have a good stream. Thank you, Beaver Bother, for $1.50 tip. Okay. Really? Arg says they didn't edit the videos. They updated and changed thumbnails to modern ones that the current algorithm favors. No, that's not true. They did edit them because the original videos had copyrighted music that eventually got claimed, and they edited the videos out to take the music out and do other things to swap in other music and stuff. They are edited. For 100%, I'm 100% sure of it that they're edited. They're not the original versions at all. And I think what it is they found a way to use the YouTube editor to do that. What's my favorite fighting game? Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. All right, guys, we're about to adjourn. Can we get to halfway point where we're at $73? Can we get to 75? And then we'll end the show and we'll get set up for Donkey Kong. Come on. Let's get to $75 of support. That way we only have to do the halfway to hit the goal for today. There is a new Pokemon game coming out for Switch 2 already. There's nothing needs to be announced. It's already coming out later in the year. They're probably just going to talk more about this current one coming up, I think. Okay, I received a $6.43 tip from Weird City. He says, here's to cutting out the middleman. Thank you, Weird City. All right, thank you. $6.43. That does it for us. All right, cool. That's actually our biggest tip. All right, and that gets us up to $79. All right, everyone. So let's end the show. Thanks for a chill show. We now figured out we're going to be doing these MLB hot dogs and sandwiches and things as our next DSP tries it, right? That's cool. I talked about how we're going to approach Donkey Kong a little differently starting today, and we had a great chill show. I hope you enjoyed. I just want to remind you all, no podcast tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be going right into Grand Theft Auto 4, try to get some good progress and maximum, gameplay in for that stream. A couple of quick contributions. Does this look normal? Did a $2 super chat. He says, F the algorithm. Thank you very much. Does this look normal? Someone says, a big part of the reason your old content doesn't get views or get in search results anymore is length. Your YouTube goes by watch time now, not views. Most of your old content is 15 minutes or less per video. And think about how dumb that is. So you're going to tell me because a video is short, it has no quality whatsoever and should never get ranked in YouTube search. What? Of course not. But that's the problem. YouTube changed their algorithm. Back in the day, none of that mattered. As long as your video had views and was popular and had engagement, boom, the video would go in search. Now, all these weird factors have completely phased out legacy content from views. Why? The video is not worse today than it was back then. In fact, it's still just as entertaining, but YouTube has hidden the video because they decided on a whim one day, we want longer videos to get better rankings. It's completely fucked. It completely screws over entire businesses from the past. It's fucking immoral and unprofessional. And by the way, they didn't disclose when they did the change either. They just did it overnight, and all of a sudden views went, woo, on legacy content. It was pretty fucked up. So, yeah, it's bullshit. Why on earth can't anyone find my stuff? Again, no lie. That Spider-Man video, Shattered Dimensions Part 1, used to receive between 30 to 50,000 views a month alone. Just that video, because it was the top thing for Spider-Man. If you searched on YouTube, that was like the top 3 videos. I was in there. And then all of a sudden, overnight, they changed the algorithm. Doesn't show up in search at all. 0 views a month. There goes all my traffic. And that was one of the major reasons why my channel had a big decline at one point. Pretty fucked up. Okay. Geez, people don't want to stop contributing. I had another dollar tip. Yes, Shinken25. I am very, very nervous about the Africanized killer bees coming into Washington State. Absolutely, I am. Thanks a lot. Okay. Thank you all for your support this morning. And remember, no podcast tomorrow. Everyone, thank you so very much for chilling with me this morning. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Tomorrow, we're just going to be doing GTA 4 with mods, but I will be back on Wednesday for a fun show. We'll probably be recapping how Donkey Kong went, how tomorrow's streams go, and all of that. We'll be back for a good one. Thank you all. Peace out. See you later.